And common points we all discussed. Again, core activity of an establishment defined now, and term industry is also defined, right? So most of the codes are now self-contained, right? So they need not refer the Industrial Disputes Act or the code which contains industrial relations in it, right? In this code itself, they have defined the term industry based on the ruling made by the Apex Court in the famous landmark Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board case. And appointment order is made mandatory, and third party audit and certification. I think this is very important. Again, for development purpose, they are bringing in. So there will be experts, and there will be some panel will be formed, and the startup companies and other classes of companies which are notified to be notified by the central government, they can choose their own maybe experts from the panel listed, and they can request them to do the audit with respect to compliance, and the audit will be done and the certification will be given. Of course, the report will be given to the employer of the particular establishment, and as well as the enforcement authority, the inspector cum facilitator who has got jurisdiction over that area. So to him also this will be issued. Again, based on that, if some changes are to be brought out in the health, safety and welfare of the workers, that will be done. That is the idea again. Then single registration instead of 6. I think we discussed. We need to do registration under the Factories Act. We need to do registration under Contract Labor Act, registration under ISMW Act. Currently, 13 legislations. Out of the 13 legislations, 6 different registrations are to be done. Now it is sufficient if we do only one registration. That is the registration under Section 3. That is establishment. There they have mentioned very clearly, right? That is a common registration. That is sufficient. If that is done, I think the registration under Code on Social Security is also not required, right? Because under Code on Social Security, PF is there, ESA is there. That itself has multiple legislations currently, right? But there, if you go through the provisions, it very clearly says if it is there is some registration available under any other labor code, then registration under Code on Social Security is not required. So something is mentioned like that. I'm just giving you for example. Then daily hours, weekly hours, and other working conditions shall be fixed by the appropriate government. I think we discussed on this flexible conditions now, right? But I think central government has made that the daily work hours of work shall not exceed 8. That alone they have fixed now. Otherwise, it is flexible. It can be less than 8. They can fix appropriate government, or weekly hours and other working conditions they can fix depending upon the situation in their geography. And another important point is, I think this would be in favor of the workers. So each worker will be entitled to leave in the subsequent year if he has completed 240 days of work in the current year, right? In a continuous period of 12 months, if he has completed 240 days, then he is entitled for leave at the rate of 1 day for every 20 days of work performed, right? Which can be availed in the subsequent year. Now that eligibility minimum period of 240 days, it is now getting reduced to 180 days. So now if a worker works for 180 days in a continuous period of 12 months, then he will be entitled for leave at the rate of 1 day for every 20 days of work to be availed in the subsequent year, right? Then common license, again we discussed under Factories Act, under Contract Labor, under BD and Cigar Establishment Act, it is there. Separate licenses are now obtained, but now there are some provisions. I think section 111 I have mentioned, it should be 119 because under 2019 draft it was section 111. Okay, my only concern here is whether it is feasible, because when we say license under Contract Labor Act, the license is for the contractor. When we say license under Factories Act, it is for the establishment, it is for the occupier, right? But if it is combined, then who will make the application? Whether the occupier will make the common application even with respect to the contractor, or the contractor will make the request, including the employer or the occupier. I'm not again very sure about the feasibility. So maybe if some clarity is again given in the process to be adopted, then it should be fine, right? Otherwise, there could be again some difficulty in this.